What is going on, everybody? This is Dimmed Rifle, back with another episode of StormWorks. And today I'm showcasing a build I've been working on for the last couple weeks. I was suggesting in the comments I build a bomber, or some form of bomber, I suppose. I've never built a plane before. Several hundred hours in this game, and I've spent all my time building boats, ships, helicopters, and most recently, in my last episode, a VTOL. The VTOL did inspire me to build an airplane, but I probably wouldn't have done it without the suggestion in the comments. So, shout out to you, my guy. I'll be honest with you, I forgot your name, so I'm sorry, but thanks for the suggestion anyway. So, anyway, here we are. Build screen. This is the plane I built. It's four prop airplane. Has no bomber features, so. There's that. I have not experimented at all with any of the weapons DLC, so that's kind of a big factor as to why this doesn't have capabilities. Also, I just kind of burned myself out, if you will. That's also why it doesn't have any paint on it, because I burned myself out. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I started with the engine. I built a single engine. They're diesel-powered, medium diesel engines. If we can get in here, maybe. That's probably not going to work. Here goes, kind of a good view. Not really a good view, but it's a view nonetheless. But yeah, anyway, four medium diesel engines powered by 4 props, propelled by 4 props. It's got retractable landing gear. And, yeah, I mean, there's nothing too special going on here. Anyway, yeah, I did the best I could with my knowledge on airplanes, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It looks good. It flies pretty good. It's a little more sensitive than I was hoping for. I was kind of hoping for more of a sluggish, type of feel, for a bigger airplane. I guess it looks bigger than it is. It's really not that big. But yeah, anyway, overall, I'm happy with how it turned out. And yeah, let's spawn this guy in. Alright, so anyway, here we are. Spawned it in. It sits a little high. I mean, it's an airplane. It's not that big of a deal. It really doesn't sit that high up for an airplane, actually. But, anyway. I got these little fancy access doors. I did have rope attachments on here, but for some reason, I'm assuming it, overstretched the rope because it was causing them to, you would jump up on here, and it would, bounce you and then throw you out, so you couldn't even get in the jet. So... did away with the ropes. Anchors are still there, obviously. Maybe I'll figure it out in the future. Anyway, take you a little tour in here. Obviously, there is not much going on in here. This is all, still blocky. Hasn't been worked on at all. This right here is just the rear landing gear wheel wells, if you will. That's kind of a big issue for the bomber aspect because it really limited my space in here and what I could do. So anyway, we'll step into the cockpit. Nothing fancy going on in here, really. I do actually really enjoy how this all turned out here. Simplicity, it looks good in my opinion for how basic it is. But yeah, anyway, let's just get this thing powered on. There's nothing too crazy for startup procedures. You just turn on main power, engine 1, engine 4, 2, and then 3. I do it in that order just because prior to the way it's set up now, I had a gyro on this thing and it was causing severe rotation issues, and I did not like it. Now, from this view, it looks weird. I don't know why. I think the wings maybe are too short, and the body's too long for the wing size. I don't know. It looks weird from this view, and I can't put my finger on exactly why I think that. But I think overall it looks good. From this angle, it looks pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, none of this works. Well, this one works, and landing gear works. These don't work. This is all very basic. Not a whole lot has been accomplished on this thing other than just the aesthetics, and it does fly now. So we just got basic information here, engine temps, engine RPS. It's the same thing over there, except for that one has nothing on it yet. And then we just got altitude readers, horizon, and then our fuel quantity. I might get rid of this fuel quantity display at some point. I don't really enjoy it, and I just don't really care for how it looks. So then we got our speedometer there. But yeah, it's pretty simple. We'll just ramp engine up 15.15%. You can hear the engine spinning up now. We'll release brakes. Apply some collective. We don't want to get too carried away with the collective because we don't really need to be flying straight out of the hangar. We could, but we don't need to. Just going to do a short little taxi over to the runway here. Reduce collective. I will say, the only thing I don't really particularly care for with using the diesel engines is the sound. Because obviously it sounds like a tractor rather than, you know, an airplane. And I'm not too big a fan on that. But I mean, it does the job. You know, it is what it is. I don't care for the exhaust setup that I have. And that's just because it comes straight out the sides of the engine. It works, and that's all you can really ask for, I guess. But I wish the exhaust would go behind, similar to a jet engine. But yeah, it's not really that big of a deal. Anyway, we're on the taxi line, on the runway, ready to take off. We are just going to increase throttle here, all the way up. Reduce parking brake. Now we're going to give her everything we got. Bring up this landing gear. Folds away nice. And we're up. And now that we're up, we can actually come back in here and reduce this throttle back down. I like to set it to about 60. It drops the RPS down to about 18-ish, give or take a few points. Saves us some fuel, I guess. It's not really that big a deal. We're not playing in career mode. But yeah, she flies pretty well. I mean, she's not the fastest. It's 77 knots. I'm assuming it's in knots. Meters per second probably is more accurate. So I mean, that's pretty decent speed. But realistically, it's not a whole lot faster than the VTOL I built. That thing tops out at, I think, 65 meters per second. Just kidding. I flew it yesterday. It's 53 meters per second. But yeah, I mean, for an airplane, it's really not a whole lot faster than, you know, a VTOL. But regardless, it flies pretty well. We could do some sick barrel rolls if we really wanted to. You know, boom. We could even fly upside down if we really wanted to. And I mean, yeah, other than that, it's just, you know, it's airplane. We got yaw. We obviously have roll. I just demonstrated that. And we got pitch. Pitch is pretty aggressive, not gonna lie. It's pretty aggressive. I've tried landing this thing. And I guess I'll try again. There's a nice landing pad. Landing pad right here. You're right, helicopter talk. There is a nice runway right over here. See if we can line ourselves up. We might as well drop the landing gear before we forget. We'll just, you know, angle this way. We'll probably drop some altitude too. Aggressively. Alright. Yeah, and if you're wondering, all these dots, those are just weight blocks. I was having some issues with pitch, where it was just drastically forcing me to climb altitude. And I added enough weight blocks to where it kind of leveled it out. It's obviously not perfect. Yeah, that's kind of neat. A meteor shower. I've never actually seen that before. All right. Okay. All right. So anyway, I guess scratch the landing. That's the second time the game's crashed for me in the last 2 days. It really has never crashed on me prior to the last couple days. So I don't know what's going on exactly. I kind of have a feeling it has something to do with the natural disasters because of how frequent they are, and the game maybe just can't handle that. And from what I can tell, there's no way to just disable them, which is really kind of irritating to me, especially with the frequency of, tsunamis as we saw in my last episode with the flooding and whatnot. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm getting some severe lag here, as you can see. But let me know what you guys think about this jet in the comments. Should I keep going with it? Try and figure out how to drop bombs, whatnot. To be honest with you, I'm not really feeling it. But if you guys want it, I'll do it. This has kind of piqued my interest as far as airplanes go. I'm kind of thinking about doing a fighter jet next. Just because I love jet engines. I like messing